maybe maybe I'll just quickly introduce myself and then give the floor to all of you guys as well. Glad to see, obviously, a lot of the Yappers.
Testing.
And actually, all of you guys are very, very early adopters because we obviously knew each other for a long time. And basically, in the early days, you guys have been churning all the yaps. So appreciate that. My name's Yuhu. Very nice to meet. Glad to be here today. I'm the founder at Kaito. Started the company 3 years ago. Obviously, some of you guys would know Kaito through Yaps. We had a kind of a separate product that's before that. But very excited to be sharing more about Kaito, but obviously hearing much more about Kaito from all of the great Yappers today.
Strategy? Like, is that what this is about? Are we giving advice on how to yap?
Part of that.
Okay.
Hey, so quick intro, I'm Daryl. I've been shitposting on Twitter for like 2018, 2017, and early investor in Kaito. Basically got dragged here. I was like, okay, like fuck it, I'll come and yap. I literally just learned the questions 5 minutes ago. Have no idea, but okay, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, okay, I'm Bread. I would say I'm like the nerd fighter of the yappers up here. I would put Andy in my bucket too. Like we on the scale of shit posting to nerd posting, probably closer to the nerd posting. I didn't seek out to be a yapper. I guess his original algorithm just liked my shit, and because of that, like I just did well.
Hey guys, I'm Wengu.
No.
No? Let me see this. No. Let me see this.
There you go.
Woo! Yo, it doesn't what? Oh yeah, it does work. Okay. Sorry. I'm Wenmoon. If he's the nerd poster, I'm the shit poster. I work at Arbitrum as well. I do ecosystem over there, and yeah, I just love Kaito. I just love yapping, and I love shit posting.
Guess I should have said I work at MegaETH. I don't just yap.
I just started at LayerZero. I'm like leading special projects.
way.
Sorry.
Yeah, I saw that leak on Twitter, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, there was no announcement, but then somebody said it on Twitter.
I haven't announced it yet because I was just like so bearish on like crypto Twitter these days. It's like it's either political FUD, like Trump's like fucking around someone, or like everyone's just talking about the prices going down. That's like I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna be working. Yeah.
I'm Andy. I am the co-founder of a education platform called the Rollup. We have a fund, and we do a lot of podcasting. And kind of my quick story with Kaito is I was the guy who started this like top 10 KOL of the last 30 days according to Kaito trend, which Bread guy would be like, bro, what the fuck? Why did I just get 300 new followers in an hour? Be like, dude, because you're number 2. Like, and then Ansem was number 1 always. So he would just always Insta repost everything because, ego and things. And it's just like, that's how I kind of started to promote Kaito. And I think it was a small part of the bigger story. But I think with those posts and Kaito kind of helped me craft them and push them, I think it kind of helped bring the narrative to crypto Twitter. So I have enjoyed the time with Kaito.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that because I remember back in the day, I think maybe it was like August or September when you were kind of posting that. And then before that, people thought it was very difficult to actually quantify influence, right? Who are the top 10? Maybe everyone's like, oh, maybe Anson is part of that, maybe Mert is part of that, but like, what about all the other people? What about some of the emerging people? And then, obviously, a lot of what we did was essentially using the algorithm to essentially quantify influence, quantify attention, which becomes helpful for various different purposes. One thing actually,
and now we have a robot in the top 3 mind share of crypto Twitter, a fucking robot.
Yes. Which I think it was also interesting in a sense that it was reflexive in a way that people start to see a lot of AI XBT, but also at the same time, people see that actually they be number 1 KOL in the whole space using the metric that people can resonate to or agree with. But yeah, that's interesting. One thing that I want to ask all of you guys is, Brad, for example, when you kind of introduce yourself, you kind of describe yourself, you almost, to some extent, detach yourself from MegaETH, but obviously I know that you kind of been doing a lot of stuff on MegaETH as well. How do you think about personal brand versus a company that you work for? How does the two kind of come together?
Yeah, I think why or why Yaps has been powerful in that sense. So like one, yes, like I think having a personal brand is powerful because it plays directly into the algorithm and like the growth of a tangential or a connected brand. I was talking to someone outside about like, okay, you know, we want to grow our personal presence being like a brand presence, and like how do you do that? I think Yaps being an agnostic thing that just tracks like meaningful conversations within like several categories. If you are to have meaningful conversations, it means you cannot have just conversations around your specific thing. And so you need this agnostic thing that actually just tracks those kind of conversations. And if you're going to have a personal brand, you have to break away from just being like an advertisement, a shill or whatever, right? Like, because that plays into the algorithm, right? I sit there and I'm a nerd poster, right? Like this morning I fucking posted about Solana against Base. I work for MegaETH. Like, why would I give a shit, right? If I'm trying to shill my stuff, and it's because one, it interests me. Two, like now I position myself in the ecosystem as someone that has an opinion on just scaling broadly. I have people from Solana interacting with the post. I have people from Base interacting with the post. They hate me, they love me. Doesn't fucking matter. Now I can post, you know, an hour from now about MegaETH, and those guys are gonna see that shit, right? Like now my brand, the brand that I'm connected to, because I'm a yapper of other things, just a category, applies to them, or we'll see them. It'll come across their feed, just like by nature of the algo. And so when I'm advising people, like other teams are like, hey, we want a bread guy of ZK or whatever the fuck, right? I want this. Like I advise them, like you need to have someone that is just wanting to be participating in the broad conversation, which materializes in Yaps because it's like having those conversations, and you're only going to have those conversations if you're not just an advertisement constantly posting about your same shit over. So yeah, that's general thoughts.
Brett, I think a big thing here too is the mutually beneficial relationship between the two, meaning that as an individual personal brand, you have only so much strength in terms of your ability to be a business, if you will, or ability to be attached to a larger vision. Whereas, and then on the brand side, people don't really resonate that much with MegaETH as much as they do with Bread, or the Rollup as much as they do with Andy. And so having this like like the stream of value goes both ways, where MegaETH helps Bread achieve a level of authority and legitimacy in the space, if you will, in addition to his content. And then you bring this people buy from people type of energy that people want to see and then associate with MegaETH. So one without the other in crypto is not nearly as powerful. And like I've learned that really, really deeply with our brand, where it's like I'm very much in the presence there as like a core face of it. And so having that power of coming back to the brand and then using it as like a two-way street, I found has been very, very, very valuable. And I've been trying to tell other influencers like, hey, if you want to do a business in the space, build something that's separate from just your name.
Add something. I think you can't. I can't speak about Arbitrum all day long. You can't speak about MegaETH all day long. The biggest thing in crypto and the biggest thing in Twitter or crypto Twitter is attention, and you want to make sure that you're yapping every day. And to yap every day, you can't yap about the same thing all day long.
How did you guys all get started? And this is not just about yapping, right? So like, I, for example, started my journey because of Kaito. I wanted to be more public, promoting Kaito in a way that I wanted to show people how to use the tool, because it was a new thing. And last year at this point, I had, for example, 100 smart followers. Obviously today is very different. I grew with my product. But just curious, from your perspective, how did the journey start? What did you start writing about? Like,
Yeah, so I started in CoinGecko. I was the first 2 interns there with my twin brother and Darren. And then we basically did everything from like market research, investments. I started CoinGecko Ventures. And like, that was completely separate from like the Twitter presence. Because back then, this was 2017, 2018, CoinGecko was still very much like a CoinMarketCap clone. We didn't have DeFi back then. And what I would do is just like, I'll tweet about like, okay, what's actually happening, and like I would be tweeting about like DeFi threads of like protocols that announce. So let's say for example, like Uniswap, how does it work? What does it do? Then I'll actually like meet from my threads. I'll meet like new teams. So like for example, I was the guy that basically explained like the Uniswap AMM to like CoinGecko founders, and they said like, hey, this is actually like pretty new. Nobody's been doing this at all. Like nobody's tracking the market research data. Like no one's tracking prices for like DEXs. If we figure this out, we're gonna be the first people there. and they just carry it over. Like I constantly covered like the earliest DeFi protocols out there, and that just like kind of snowballed to like me starting a fund, like starting multiple funds. Then like even recently, I took like a break from like yapping in general. Came back because I was like just tired of like everyone just shit posting, like boring stuff. Like people are doing low quality threads where it's like 1 out of 10, and you get like the quality at like the last thread, which is like quite bad. But I think most people trying to get into yapping, they really want to like break in, but they don't know how. So we are kind of blessed that we have like this platform. Like we have like Arbitrum, we have Rollup, we have like MegaETH. We already have like a good foot in the door. Most people don't have that, so they're just trying to figure out.
My journey is unique in that I didn't have MegaETH when I started yapping. So I actually maybe even got the job at MegaETH because I yapped, because I was identified as someone that was commanding the space. So my personal journey, like I had worked in tech for a long time, had whatever 10 years as a consultant, all this shit, and I just wanted to take full time into crypto. I had built products and stuff, but I didn't have an idea. So like I just wanted to exist in the space, write content, grow my presence, all this shit. My social circle at start had like 10K followers, something like that. It was all socials layer people that didn't give a shit about tech, right? And like anything I'd post, no one gave a shit, right? So I was like, okay, maybe I need to be like the breaking news guy. Maybe I need to talk about memes. Maybe I need to do like a whatever, chase the trend. And it was not fucking interesting to me at all. So like my content sucked. Like I didn't know what to look for. Like it was dog shit, right? Because that I didn't grow, but like whatever. My previous life was in like interfacing between technical people and like clinicians, people who didn't give a shit about like databases, but I had to talk to them about it, like technical stuff. So I kind of just brought that to Web3, where it's like, I like this technical shit. I like talking about blobs, right? No one likes talking about blobs, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna talk about blobs, even if no one wants to hear this shit. So I just kept posting about like this stuff and built up like a domain expertise in something that I actually enjoyed, that gave me energy, that did all this stuff. And through doing that stuff, because I was able to develop a thesis, because I cared about the shit, because my brain's broken, people actually started like responding to me, like actually respecting what I was doing. They started like involving me in the conversation. I made sure to like respond to other people because my social graph fucking sucked. So like I had to be a reply guy for a while. Over time, like I just built up like critical mass of people following me. And through that, like I reached out to Bing whenever, like in July, I was like, yo, dude, I'm in this space. I want to work for a protocol. Your shit's dope. Like, I think it's cool. She's like, sick, join our Discord. It's like, fuck that. I'm not joining a Discord again. So went my separate ways, and you comes along, and you's like talking about like seeing my growth, like seeing I'm able to command this space in layer 2s, like it's a very niche thing, but seeing that I'm getting momentum in that, his platform finally was able to reflect it a little bit, and then Bing comes back to me, Bing being the founder of MegaETH, and she's like, yeah, all right, like, yeah, maybe we actually do need you, because
that Kaito helped you get that
I don't
because
know.
of like those
Did you guys
layer
talk about
2
it at all?
jobs?
It was very obvious that you guys, like Brad, for example, you were #1 in L2 mindshare at the time, and then like frequently top 10. It was a metric that solidified.
Yeah, I think it's more of a confidence thing, right? Because like I think we all kind of have a general sense of like who is CT, like who is the people talking, like Mert, Ansem, like the people like you think you feel like the conversation, but you don't really have any way to articulate or confirm your belief. And then like this has kind of like, if you look at the social graph that you have, that is the CT lead, where I look at it and go, yeah, that's kind of CT. Those are the players that I think make up CT. And I think that gave her the confidence to say, like, I feel like he's doing okay. Like, you see some posts doing well, but, like, this is validation that it's actually repeatable and, like, he has a presence in the space. So, like, yeah.
I also think it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy as to like what CT is. Like Kaito said that this is what CT is, and now it's like that's what it is, and then like the social graph just keeps like re-enabling that, which is makes it hard to break in. But like if you're in, then you're in. But yeah.
Well, now I'm sure you're getting tacked onto threads of like, oh, follow these people, yap with these people to make sure that they yap back to you, and then like it kind of
That is all useful.
So for me, completely different to Brad actually, because I started off in DeFi. I was building in DeFi. At that time, I saw that basically every single protocol that ever did well, or anything that ever did well in crypto, always had either founder-led marketing or some figure like someone like Brad, for example, who isn't a founder of MegaETH, but like is the one pushing it. Yeah, is present and pushing it every single day. And so I understood the importance of branding, but I think I had a founder at that time that did very well in that, leaned on them for a lot of everything, but then kind of realized that, you know, to do this myself, if I want to be doing this myself, I want to be building my own brand. Started doing that, but actually started just shitposting because I just didn't want to. I don't care about blobs, man. I don't want to talk about blobs all day long, you know? If I start doing that, kill me. But I like to shitpost. I have these stupid ideas, stupid memes that I want to tweet out. People like them. Then I actually did like some things. I realized actually there is some things I like. My version of blobs, which is like Pendle, or at the very beginning I wrote an options thread that like really blew up and took me like through the races, and I just kind of realized actually, you know, people do want to hear what I want to say outside of a funny meme, you know. So then I just started tweeting more of my ideas. Everything kind of one thing led to another, went from DeFi protocol to DeFi protocol, and yeah, here I am now.
How did it lead to like you, like posting as a girl? I think that's the main question.
You're on the e-girl list. I saw one was just
I'm
dropped
the
yesterday by
fourth
Ultra.
sexiest.
So the fourth
eagle,
sexiest
yeah.
eagle, crypto eagle.
Yeah, I think everyone in this room can agree, right? So that just started because I obviously have the anime profile picture, right? Everyone in CD loves to make assumptions. I wonder if they think you're a bread. I don't know if they do, but exactly. Do they think you're a penguin? I don't know, but everyone kind of assumed I was a girl, and then this Twitter account that I hate said she's a lady of crypto, right? She's like rugged like 20 things, but she tweeted top 20 women to follow in crypto, and she made a list. And of course, I ended up on this list somehow. As a meme, I kind of put it in my bio, and the joke just rolled on forever and ever and ever. Yeah, the joke is just too powerful. But yeah, I guess here we are today, and I'm part of some of the women in Web3 like communities, just as an advocate, even, you know, because I do believe that we need more women in crypto, and even if I'm that one that they invite to the crypto event to try and increase the ratio, but I'm decreasing the ratio, you know, at least I can help some women or something like that. Yeah.
How do you guys think about some of the very unique dynamics since Yaps came along, right? So I would say that maybe one thing is the financialization of content. All of you guys will know that there's, you know, bribing market out there in the market. There's people expecting by default creating content that you can maybe receive some of the rewards from airdrop and other protocols, which is a very unique thing in crypto because everything is financialized. What's your guys' take on that?
I think for Yaps, and one of the things that I heard a lot is, and I do believe this as well because I've seen this in many other things. I'll give TVL as an example of like, or volume as like, we used to look at TVL and volume as very, very important metrics to determine, oh, how good is this chain, how good is this protocol, whatever. And as soon as you give the metric power, someone will find a way to just gamify it and turn it to shit. And a lot of chains, a lot of protocols have done that today for TVL. And now Kaito comes out and basically says, here's the apps. Basically, it's done that for CT, right? And so a lot of people were like, okay, this has... The funny thing to me is, you know, during December, I tried myself to game Yaps, the algorithm. Like, the AI is not stupid, right? It can very quickly see that I'm saying monad 50 times in one tweet, and it isn't working, you know? So it's blacklisting me or whatever, and I'm not getting any apps. So I realized that, and I'm like, actually, if it can't be gamed, it's actually valuable. But the problem became that everyone thought it could be gamed, and that just made CT into a pretty shit show. Just because they thought they were earning apps, and then people were like screenshotting their apps and whatever. But again, it's all about like, you know, as soon as you financialize something, this is the problem of crypto, I guess, right? We financialize everything, and then suddenly it's garbage. But that's what we're fighting against, and you know, actually, the idea behind Kaito, which is like, instead of just having Twitter allows you to see number of followers and quantity, but Kaito allows you to see quality, right? Where like smart followers and these other metrics actually allow you to see, okay, what is your reputation, your real reputation between people who matter, people who are important, people who are CT, and how much quality discussion instead of quantity of discussion are you producing, and that has become very valuable. A lot of people have, decided to very generously airdrop to all of us, and we've accepted that graciously. I'm not going to say any more on it.
So yeah, my comment section is fucked up, frankly, now because of people trying to farm stuff, which is fine. I just block them now. But I think what you're trying to get at, so you're talking about like our side of it, but I think I'm on the growth side, so talking about like CMOs and like just generally distribution. Like you have to think about what the process is for the protocols that are actually coming to Kaito and why it is valuable, right? You think about all of these protocols, right? They literally have to figure out who the fuck do I give tokens to, right? Like what is the best way for me to distribute these things? And you want to do it the best you can, but no solution is perfect, right? You start targeting NFT collections, you start targeting like DeFi positions, you start targeting GitHubs, whatever. None of those baskets are perfect. And in the previous paradigm, if I wanted to say, like, I want to reward people that do shit on Twitter on my behalf, there's basically no good solution for it. Unless you're going to spin up a proprietary, like, internal algorithm of, like, who the hell is talking about us, which is not an easy endeavor. Most of these teams are already bogged down. Like, they literally have the problem of we want to give these tokens to people, and they need to figure out the best way to give those tokens out, knowing that it's coming up on, they have a deadline on it, right? So that's why you're seeing a lot of these protocols like crowd themselves into the Yapper leaderboard, because there frankly is no other solution out there today for them to easily distribute to a cluster of people that are meaningfully contribute to the conversation and reward them however you want, whether it's like a stake thing, whatever, like the protocol's discretion. But identifying them just generally has been a pain in the ass, and it's a requirement of a lot of these protocols.
Yeah, I think to directly add to that, Kaito has kind of acted as a filtration device for content creators, in the sense that there's so many accounts on Twitter and on X for the last couple of years that have had these inflated following numbers.
Jesus. Yeah, who's the polka dot crew,
Yeah,
the
like
polka dot KOL list,
right?
right?
Like stuff like that is just so irrelevant to the actual conversation in a sense, or is that they're existing in kind of their own echo chamber, and then they're doing business sometimes, as we've seen with Libra, Malay, these meme coins, sometimes in malicious ways. Frankly, just like not being good actors with a large audience, using various ways of farming engagement and bots to then go and ask high prices from crypto companies who raise VC capital to do marketing on their platform, knowing there's very little value. And like we fight against this all the time. Like we are fully organic, fully grassroots, grass-fed, high-quality followers.
American-made.
And so, like, to extrapolate this to the next level, what I think is possible, you and kind of with what we're doing here is, imagine if we could take Kaito, the information, this idea of filtration device for quality creators with high ethics or intelligence or consistency or a variety of different traits, and then bring this on-chain, this information, and build what is one of the most important blockchain use cases, not crypto, not speculation, but true, a reputation system on-chain using Kaito's information to effectively build this way to have almost like a reviews-based system, like a Yelp or like a content creator reputation system on-chain using Kaito. And so I think this is like a next iteration of how the space may evolve due to all of the kind of basically bad behavior from social layer actors. We will now trend towards a more democratized way of assessing somebody's reputation. And I believe that Kaito can power this and thus lead to more efficient commerce in terms of marketing, advising, and basically crypto expenditure for teams, as well as leading to the actors that are positive, contributing, and have a clean slate, rising to the top and being the cream of the crop. And that is what I think is the biggest impact from this project that we may still not see yet, but I think it's something that I think that we could explore.
Yeah, the emerging Yapper class, I think, is the powerful one, right? You guys made a deliberate point to like call out these people that are very small accounts, but they are disproportionately earning yaps or whatever else because they have a good opinion. It's just not seen or heard by a lot of people, but they're still earning it, right? And then that should lift up the lower bound of like the conversation, hopefully.
Go ahead.
One thing you don't want though is like mercenary yappers, because like even for example, MegaETH had like this, they had the whole yapping competition, and like one team, I can't remember the name, they bought like a ton of yaps. Yeah.
Yeah, 0G.
Yeah, but like
Yeah, zero G.
yeah, but the fact was like I can't even remember the name. Kind of like proof that it didn't really work, right? You have everyone just trying to game this metric and like trying to build like mindshare out of nowhere, hiring the best like yappers, so called, like trying to get their votes. But unless it's like really organic.
Yeah, you can't game the social layer. Like you actually have a question for you. How do you differentiate what you're trying to build with Kaito that different from like social credit scores in China or in communist countries? How are we not rebuilding social credit scores right now?
They already gave the staking score for Kaito, so everyone is scored.
So like, how do you think about that?
Did you hold the airdrop?
Staked all of it.
Exactly.
Well, one thing that's interesting is now, because we did probably in the history of crypto, the biggest airdrop to every single CT in the space. We have a direct link of everyone's social profile and everyone's wallet. There's tremendous, well, obviously not publicizing that, but essentially you can analyze behaviors, you can incentivize people in basically matching the off-chain reputation with on-chain reputation. You can incentivize people doing that, right? So like, if you have Kaito token in one wallet, you have Genesis NFT in another wallet, and inherently by having voting rights, you have power, and then you are incentivized basically link everything together, and you're also incentivized to signal on-chain reputation as well. So we're doing that in a very organic way. We're not asking for anything that people are not comfortable giving. But I mean, to answer your question, I think ultimately we're not kind of, it's not like the AICC thing, like you are kind of basically have like a shame board of like who is doing what. Everyone has the liberty of choosing their own behavior, and there's no right or wrong way basically. And it's, from a protocol perspective, the kind of the long-term thinking that we have is the protocol is going to continue to give out rewards, and we basically want to incentivize some of the people who are receiving rewards, but also giving back some of the rewards to the network, so that as creator, you basically are always going to be having a future expected return, but also at the same time, you're also thinking in an owner-operator way. And then when you vote, then you'll be thinking, okay, this is not just kind of my future paycheck, but I'll also be thinking in the interest of the future of the network, whether I want the network to succeed in the long term as well. So that's a bit of a, I guess, context in terms of why we're kind of thinking about staking.
I think one key thing to understand is that like when you're making solutions, you can't always look for a perfect solution. You need to look for something that's better than what we have today. And in terms of what we have today with the KOL agencies, the KOLs that then get paid and then have absolutely no like real way to tell if they're even botting their engagement or even tweeting at all with how many you're like going through. And I've done it before, so I know how this works. This is a much better solution where you have to do the task, then we can incentivize you afterwards, and you have a full reputation system, full autonomy over who you choose, what exactly you want to incentivize, and everything else. I think it's versus what we have today. It's leaps and bounds better.
I also add one point, which I think is an interesting one, because if I think about a lot of the breakout protocols this cycle, either it be Hyperliquid, Athena, etc., they sort of democratized the level playing field. Like for example, Hyperliquid, you can now access a vote that's historically only accessible to the best market makers. Similar for Athena. Back in the day, cash and carry is only being controlled by some of the whales or the best quant trading firms. And what I think Kaito was doing is essentially giving access to all the, I guess, general CT to essentially having access to some of the content creator rewards, which historically just doesn't exist because only the top guys would essentially have some of the distribution there.
I think like we saw the SocialFi trend, and I think a lot of the reason why a lot of that failed is because of you had to get off the app to go into like a different PWA. I know that you guys call it InfoFi, but to me this is like the successful iteration of SocialFi.
I think we're out of time. So great discussion. Thanks a lot for being here today.